Good evening, YouTube, 5:32 p.m., 7/9/2018. I don't know really what's wrong with me or the world, okay? Maybe we just can't get in step, can't get a groove on, keep it on. Alright. Hardly no one will talk to me about the satanic anything from Sedalia, Missouri. Alright, I lived with it. I outlived a person who was satanic in nature, okay? She denied, I'm sure, till her dying day. But I've got proof, and I showed that in the last couple of screencasts with the 666 in the title. Alright. The only person really who had discussed that with me at any length is dead. Terry, my friend in Sedalia, who was a cop and married to the chief of police, actually discussed this with me. And maybe a little bit our mutual friend Rita, but if we did, it's foggy. And I'd go over for coffee and she'd come over sometimes, and we didn't meet till 95, just for the record. And it might have been even 96, because I met her then husband, Alan Sr. He was the first one I met, first one I encountered. So, but she's dead, and I always will think that the circumstances with that one also are shady. Just shady as can be. And you know, I wasn't all that close to her. We weren't drinking buddies. She would come over sometimes, but I went over to her house a lot more than she came over to mine. So we didn't get that drunken thing going on that two people who drink together would have enough on each other to be able to hang each other with, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I did drink coffee with her. Alright. I knew she liked to keep the TV on a lot of westerns. I don't know the channel name right now, or the network, but I do know she liked those old westerns. Alright. And we didn't even really get down into it. Into the bowels of it. Like I had begun to go with my research, and it gives me a creepy feeling. So I have to back away from it, as I mentioned in another of my screencasts, that I value having what little mind I have left from all my past difficulties. And so when I feel I've had enough of something, I'll change the topic, or I'll listen to some music. And I always have this radio on back here, not to let it eat me up, because I know it can do that. Just like with our pastor Edna at the Light of the World Spiritualist Chapel. She had gotten down sick, and I'll always believe it was because her and a couple other members, she, I believe, supplemented her income, but another one made her livelihood was entirely from going to those houses in and around Kansas City area and the little towns around, which is area. Thank you. Doing spiritual readings of the house and cleansing the house with a cleansing ceremony. So, but when she got sick, I believe it was because she had just encountered too many things in that line of business, and she used to also work alongside her son, at one time anyway, Kansas City cop, and maybe more. But you see, that kind of thing can wear on you, and you need to get backed away. Some people would say, no, this is just now getting good. Not going to back away from this. Well, so be it. I just feel like when I've got enough, I've got enough. And I'm not even, good enough to, how they would used to say, hang a sign, hang a placard, start a business. Pardon me. I'm not anywhere near that good. And that's okay. Not everybody was born to do it for a living, right? But my big question this afternoon was about the stepdaughter. Why she wasn't busy in the times that we were away from the house and she was away from the house, to be making the so-called rapist look like a bad guy. Sometimes you've got to get that everything else out of the way so people will notice, hopefully on their own, so you're not standing there like some blubbering idiot going, he did this to me, he did that to me. Oh, you really, kid, while you're playing cards in the front room? While you and your family are out to dinner? You're talking no-brainer here. My husband was put away for 25 years on a total no-brainer. And because I was on so much medicine, as was he, I had to get away from all that to be able to clear my mind. So I moved clear out of that county. I haven't been on any kind of thing for, good God, 10 years now. And I'm not a ballistic, acting, bipolar, fit-throwing, car crashing into somebody's front room crazy woman. A lot of that is hype. It's just total hype. The only real issue I have right now are the stingers that I get, okay, in my legs and sometimes arms, but I think a lot of it's neurological from brain damage. They want to call it restless legs syndrome. They wanted this and that and the other kind of label on it. I just know I don't like it, And I didn't take, well, maybe I did take one last night. I know I took one of my relax vitamins. It's just a vitamin that smooths you out, I don't see any big deal in that. It's not some kind of narcotic. God forbid there's so many narcotic fiends in this world now as it is. Good Lord. So, and then part of the other time I'll take my melatonin to kick in the sleep for me. And I'm starting to even learn there, to take it about 20 minutes before bed. And I remember the last time that I did take it, whether it was last night or the night before, that I had fixed me a little hot cocoa and supped on it while I watched the rest of something on TV there on ID, and let that kick in, Then just lights out all over the house. Everything was shut down. I just crawled back there in my little bed and I went to my sleep zone, But nothing at this house is as good as any other place I've ever had, because I simply am not physically capable anymore. And I did reach out to someone today that I know whose husband does repairs and stuff down here, that maybe he could come over here and fix my toilet that for some reason seems to be leaking. Maybe the, what do you call them, the gel ring has gone bad, and there's always this wet spot on my floor now. A round wet spot, and I started noticing it, and I tried drying it up, and I even had the heater on it in this summer weather. Of course, the air conditioner was cooling it off, but so now I started putting old catalogs and newspapers and that brown paper that comes in the shipment, because I'm back there pretty frequently. About every time I'll get a drink and finish a drink, I'll go to the bathroom, and a lot of times, if it's not soda or tea that I get in a jug, I'll get the water for my dragon fruit juice water additive thing, or another coffee, and I get it out of the bathroom. It's just how it is. And so I'm back there, and I can change that paper out once it sops up a significant amount of water, because these subfloors, I believe, are that press board, chipboard. And I did have that problem in this other bathroom up here by my bedroom, which is why I have to go clear across the house at night. The stool did overflow one time and didn't shut off, and I had left the house right after using the bathroom, so it ran for like 4 hours while I was gone, and I didn't get it all dried up, and it soaked through and made soft spots in my floor. Well, part of it did get replaced. Okay, but I'm on the hunt now for someone else who can replace it. But the thing is, why wasn't she out there from supposed rape number 1 to supposed rape number 2100, at least trying to get people to look at her dad like he's some kind of bad guy? Like, oh, I don't want to go home. I never want to go home. Can I please go with you guys? Where are you going? Can I go too, just so I won't have to go home? I don't really know anyone. It never happened. It was never going to happen because it never had to happen. So with all this other that I've put out on the internet since then, since I got online in 97 and had the capability to do so, nobody will talk to me about it. Nobody will talk to me about it. If they did, there's so few, I just totally forget, and I'm sorry if that's the case, but I really feel like I have not been treated right, about my husband being not treated right. Some people just are that way, I guess. They don't cause people to want to help them. That is not a gift that I was blessed with. That people just want to sit with me. Let's figure this thing out, shall we? There was no one. I haven't been able to put this thing to bed, not that I ever would, because nobody has ever wanted to help me put it to bed. By that I mean get some closure and get on with life. But see, I'm just that way too, and I'm not Catholic, but I have Catholic family. Married for life. You know, we have this one son, and he wasn't treated right either, if you ask me. They messed with all of our stability. They messed with our environment. You know, our personal household environment. They came ripping through there, rip-roaring through there. They're on a rip-roar. You know, with nothing of my past being of concern to them to cause them to go lightly. You know, they could have done the whole thing without being on a rip-roar and upsetting so many apple carts that I already had tucked away and out of mind. So with that, thanks for listening. We're down to a few seconds.